Hello everyone, how are we doing today? I hope you're all well. I hope you're all keeping well. So, I decided I wanted to do a video about the Game of the Year awards. So as everyone knows, the nominees got announced a couple of days ago. And yeah, I was surprised, but at the same time not surprised by some of the games that were in there. And I thought I'd do a video of, I wanted to basically talk about what games I, with the heart, would like to see win Game of the Year, which game my brain says is going to win Game of the Year, and obviously address some of the elephants in the room, which are, there's, games on there, or one particular game, and the question is, should it be on the Game of the Year award nominee? So, let's go through the nominees first off. So, there's Astrobot, there's Metaphor ReFantasio, there's Black Myth Wukong, there is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, and Balatro. Now, I know what everybody is thinking, right? One of them games does not belong, which is the odd one out. So let's address the elephant in the room first, right? Okay, so Elden Ring, right? Now, some people, I've heard them on the internet saying Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree should be on the list. Why? Because it is one whole game. Yes, Shadow of the Erdtree is a DLC, but it's a DLC for a game, and it's made it even better, apparently. So, I haven't played it myself, but yeah, people are saying that, it has made what already was a Game of the Year for last year a better game this year. Now, me personally, I'm just going to say from the off, I do not think it should be in the nominees category, right? I don't even if there is a category for DLCs, right? Great. I think Shadow of the Erdtree wins that, hands down, right? There's some great DLCs that have come out this year, but, I think Shadow of the Erdtree has done so well that it would probably win that particular category. And I don't think Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree should be in this Game of the Year award category. I just don't. It's the DLC for the game that has further improved the game. So, therefore, how does a DLC get in the Game of the Year category? I just don't know, right? And I'd love your thoughts on it too, because to me it's just bonkers. And not just that, but I sort of feel for any other game that could have potentially been in the Game of the Year awards nominees, and that was potentially pushed out because of that, which I don't think is fair at all, right? I don't know what game could have been in there, you know what I mean? There's people saying Dragon Age Veilguard could have been in there. I'm pretty sure there's probably another couple of games people have played this year that were potential games that should have been in that category. If you have one in particular that you think of, feel free to comment and let me know. So, yeah, I don't agree with it. I think whoever's made this decision should have put their foot down and said, no, we're really sorry. Elden Ring was a great game last year. It deservedly won Game of the Year. There you go. It was Game of the Year 2023, right? We're now in 2024. It had a DLC, not a full game, right? So that's my thoughts on that, right? And then I'm looking at the list, and this is where I sort of go through what I think in my head would win and what my heart would win, right? So I'm going to start off with Balatro, right? Now, I've not played Balatro, but I've heard amazing things about Balatro. And I've also seen that Balatro's actually nominated in the Indie Game of the Year category. So hear me out. I could see Balatro winning Indie Game of the Year, 100%, right? So I don't think Balatro is there in terms of Game of the Year. I do think it's I say I've not played it, but from the feedback and the people I've spoken to, they've said they've really enjoyed it, but I could 100% see that game winning Indie Game of the Year, right? Which then you go through the list of games that are remaining. So then you have Astrobot, Metaphor ReFantazio, Black Myth Wukong, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Again, I've not played Metaphor ReFantazio, but again, I've heard great things about it. I've heard it's a fantastic game. And I'm hearing that, you know, especially the people who were like Persona fans are really enjoying it too. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe it's an undercard. Maybe, I don't know. Like I say, not played it. And another game I've not played is also Black Myth Wukong. But there is absolutely no denying how great the reception for Black Myth Wukong has been, right? You've only got to look at its sales alone, right? Black Myth Wukong has sold a ton, right? It has sold really well. And I'm not saying any of the games in the category have not sold well, but Black Myth Wukong was received really well, right? And I think this has the potential, right? If the other two games, well, I say two, sorry, other three, I don't think Metaphor ReFantazio is going to win it. I'm just going to say that right now, right? I personally think Black Myth Wukong has a chance at winning Game of the Year. I absolutely do, right? I think it's got a good following. I think it's been received well, and I think people are enjoying it, right? Or have been enjoying it, right? And then we go on to the other two. So you then have Astrobot and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, this is where it's playing with my head and playing with my heart, right? I'm not going to lie, and people know this already. With my heart, I would love for Astrobot to win Game of the Year, right? I would absolutely, I would go out of my mind. If Astrobot won Game of the Year, I would be so happy, right? I'd actually sit there with a smile on my face and say, that's awesome, because Astrobot for me, when I played it, it just had all that nostalgia. It's just a great platform game, and it had that challenge in there as well, and people know what I'm talking about with like the Grandmaster Challenge especially, and the secret levels. That just pushed you. It made you want to get better. Yes, it may have took me 55 attempts to do the Grandmaster Challenge level. Yes, I got sick and tired of carrying that fucking rubber duck around that lava level. But I kept at it, and I made sure that I could do it, and I did. I got it done, right? So much so I got the platinum for it, because I was just like, I got the platinum for the playroom when they did that, and I was like, there's absolutely no way I can not get the platinum for Astro's playroom for Astro, but I've got to do it. It's one of the things that has to be done, right? And I did, and I was so proud of myself when I got that platinum, and I was like, this is a great game. Enjoyed it from start to finish. But the question is it Game of the Year? Is it better than Black Myth Wukong? I don't think on a gamer's level, I don't think you put Astrobot above Black Myth Wukong, sadly. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but I just don't think you do. As much as I'd love to see Astrobot win it, I just don't think you can see Astrobot above some of the games in this list. I want it to be with my heart. I would love it to be. But then I go with my head and think of how much Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was just such a great game at launch. And again, it's another one of them games that it's sort of in my heart as well. It's like I would love to see Final Fantasy VII Rebirth win Game of the Year. But then I have to put my own personal feelings and a stamp on it, right? Is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth higher than Black Myth Wukong? No, I don't think it is. Is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth higher than Astrobot? No. I I don't think it is. And for people who know me and how much I love Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII is one of my favourite games of all time. But I'm not going to lie, I actually think overall, much like its number, I think it's a solid 7. I don't think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. Not in terms of Astrobot gameplay. I just think Astrobot is more fun. It just grabs you by the nostalgia and it just drags you in. And okay, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a great game, but it's definitely got its complications. Whereas with Astrobot, I didn't really find many. And I think that's why I would put Astrobot above Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So at the moment, where am I? I'm probably on the balance note of, I think third is definitely Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I definitely think that is the third best game on the list, right? And I genuinely do think it's going to be between Black Myth Wukong and Astrobot for Game of the Year. That's my personal opinion anyway. I just don't see Final Fantasy VII Rebirth winning it. And that kind of makes me sad, because I would love to, as I say, I'd love to see Final Fantasy VII Rebirth win it. But I just don't think it is. I just don't see it pulling it off ahead of Black Myth Wukong and ahead of Astrobot. I would put both, without even playing Black Myth Wukong, just the reception I know from the way people, played the game and enjoyed it. It's ahead of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The only question is, to me, is it ahead of Astrobot? Is the nostalgia in Astrobot enough to win a Game of the Year? I don't know. And that's the question. I honestly don't know. So it's over to you guys. What do you think of those nominees? What do you think is going to win Game of the Year? And like I said, do you think Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree should be in this nominees for Game of the Year? And if it shouldn't be there, what do you think should be in the list instead? Honestly, I think it's really hard to call at the moment. It is. I genuinely think calling Game of the Year is going to be a hard call, and I don't know. Could we be in for a surprise? I mean, could Final Fantasy VII Rebirth win Game of the Year? Could the fan base get it over the line in terms of votes? Or, like I say, is it just a pretender to the crown? And that really, we are looking at potentially Astrobot or Black Myth Wukong as Game of the Year. Or do the other games that like I say, the other games that I haven't played in that list, like Balatro and Metaphor ReFantazio, do they deserve to be higher? I guess we're going to find out. We'll find out on the 9th Game of the Year awards. But yeah, like I say, guys, let me know your thoughts. I want to know what you think. What do you think is the Game of the Year 2024? Is it even in the list? Let me know anyway. And thanks very much for watching this video. And I will see you all soon. Bye for now.